If you're about to start a fat loss phase, the worst thing you can do is jump straight into a calorie deficit. I know because I've helped a lot of people with this and I've struggled with it myself. The issue up front is that you're very motivated to lose weight. You're probably desperate. So it makes sense. You want to start your calorie deficit. You want to sign up and do the boot camps. You're going to start doing this crazy cardio routine you saw on TikTok. It's all trash. It's going to lead you to the same ending where you lose a little bit of weight, burn out, gain it all back, and you'll be right back here starting with another day one. Let's not do that this time because there's 4 big things you actually need to look at before you start your calorie deficit. So if I had the next 12 weeks to really lean out, lose weight, lose body fat, this is exactly how I'd set it up. It's the same way I would do it for my clients. It's the same way I have done it for my clients that have lost 30, 60, some of them over 100 pounds. And we don't start with a calorie deficit. We start first with an audit. Before we ever cut anything, add training, there's 4 big things I want to look at because that will determine how successful you are on this plan and actually how much weight you can lose over time. And you can run this audit for whatever amount of time you think is best for you. I would do at least 7 days. I could see a few weeks, but don't push it out too far because that's just you delaying taking action. And the first big thing I would track is going to be your sleep. For the next 7 days, we need to figure out what do you typically get. So you need to be tracking it. Whether you're actually wearing a tracker, you get out a notepad, piece of paper, keep a note in your phone. What time do you actually go to sleep? Not get in the bed, scroll the phone on TikTok, read that smut. That doesn't count. What time are you going to sleep? What time do you get up? Are the kids waking you up? Take a few little notes the next morning. We need to know, are you getting 7 hours, 10 hours? That would be glorious. Are you getting 5? Because that's not going to cut it on a weight loss journey or whatever you want to call this. The next big thing you need to track are calories. We need to see what everything looks like over 7 days. No big changes. We need to see what your intake is. I'm sure you have a few amazing days. I'm sure you have a few trash days. If you're using a calorie counting app and it's telling you to eat 1,400 calories, screw that. You're just gonna track your food for 7 days, see where it is. We'll take that average later and actually set you up for success. The next big thing are going to be your steps because again, I'm sure there are days you're locked in an office, in the house, whatever it may be, not getting any steps. That's sad, we can improve on that. Don't worry. And I'm sure you got some hero days as well where you get 12,000 steps and that's what you tell everybody about and you share it on Facebook. Again, that's not really you, but we're gonna take all of your steps over 7 days and figure out where you're at. And the last big thing to take note of in the audit is going to be your training. Just because you bought a PDF that says 5 times a week does not mean you get to say you train 5 times a week. Look over the last 7 days, the last 4 weeks. How often do you really find yourself in the gym across 7 days? It doesn't have to be 7 days a week or 5 or 4. Just be honest with yourself. What can you handle with your work, your responsibilities, your family, and write it down. And I honestly think just by being aware of these things, you're going to track them loosely. You're going to sharpen up a little bit on the diet, even though I asked you not to. You're going to be a little bit more mindful of your steps. So across the course of the audit, whether it's 7 days, 4 weeks, you're probably going to lose some weight. I actually did this for 4 weeks myself. Don't do it any longer than that. But I actually lost 5 pounds, so I got that initial blow off. But do not skip the audit. It is the most important part. It tells us what we need to change next instead of going too extreme, which means you won't be able to stick to your plan. So jumping into calories, if you take that audit phase seriously, 7 days, track all of your foods, add them all together, divide it by 7, that's your average calorie intake. From that number, I suggest just taking away about 500 calories because a pound of fat is approximately 3,500 calories. 500 calories taken away every single day means you're going to lose a pound of fat across the week on average, which for me at 2,400 calories is what I was averaging. That means I'm about 1,950 to 2,050 calories. That is much easier for me to work from than just saying 1,500 calories worked last time. You should do the same thing. You don't have to be so aggressive. Jumping into macros, really simple. We don't need to overthink this part. You're trying to lose weight. Let's just set these up really quick. Your protein should be about 1 gram per pound of your target body weight. For me, I'm just gonna say 180. We know we need protein to preserve muscle mass. I don't wanna be losing a bunch of muscle and fat. I want to preserve that muscle. So 180 grams, that's about my goal weight in this process. For fats, I don't like going below 0.3 to 0.4 grams per pound of my current body weight. So that's about 55, 58 grams of fat. And then we're just gonna make carbs all the rest. And I know your carbs may seem really high compared to other diets you've done, but again, if they worked, you wouldn't be here. So stick with this. Calories are king. You're in a deficit. You're eating enough protein. You're eating enough fat. Your hormones aren't going to go whack. You're getting enough carbs to keep your energy up, which means you can do this for a long time. And the next thing is going to be training. You do not need to sign up for a boot camp, some HIIT program. You don't need to jump around on a BOSU ball. That's all pretty much a waste of time. Our training needs to be strength training because we want to send the right message to our body. We are going to train these muscles. We're going to give them fuel. We're going to give them protein, and we're going to preserve this muscle mass as we lose body fat. If you don't train and you undereat protein and you go into a weight loss phase, you will lose both muscle and fat, and you're going to look like a small, squishy version of your current self. You don't want that. I think most people can stick to 2, 3, or 4 days. Don't feel like you have to aim for 5 if you're not able to stick to it. Just because 5 is optimal to somebody else on social media doesn't mean it's optimal for you. If you're missing a day constantly, every single week, you're going to feel defeated. I also know it's probably going to be legs, which means you're going to look pretty pitiful at the end of this. If it's 4 days, go upper body, lower body, upper body, lower body. Very simple. 3 days, upper, lower, full body. 2 days, full body, full body. It's not that hard. And if you struggle knowing what to do with your training, I've got a full free program I'll be sure to plug in down below. It's got everything you need for training. Got 2-day splits, 3 days, 4 days, men and women's workouts. Even though we pretty much train the same, it emphasizes different muscle groups because, shocker, a lot of guys don't want to grow a big butt. A lot of girls don't want to see really big traps. But it has your training, how to set up your nutrition. It also follows up with you every single week, showing you the next steps to take so you don't hit any plateaus. I would take it if I was you. And the next big piece to take from your audit are going to be your steps. What were you averaging? For me, it was about 7,000, which isn't terrible, but for fat loss, I want to increase those a little bit because it's a whole lot easier for you to increase steps than take away food. At least it is for me. I'd rather have 150 extra calories of whatever food I want, as long as it fits those calorie targets, than for you to take that away from me. Again, this goes back to why we set our calories at an appropriate level, because we can only pull so many things as we go if the fat loss stalls. So if you're someone that's getting 5,000 steps and you could push that to 7,000, that's a difference of about 100, 150 calories right there. I was averaging about 7,000. I'm going to take it to 10. And again, these are steps. Scoop them up throughout the day. They don't have to be a dedicated walk. They don't have to be at an incline at a special speed you saw on TikTok. It's just your total steps. Try to park further away at work. Go to the furthest away bathroom. If you get on a call, stand up and pace. If you unload groceries, do them one at a time. If you put away laundry, take up one stack at a time. Don't do one item, that'll take forever. And the next thing to take into consideration is going to be your sleep. You did the audit, where were you at? Were you staying up too late? Are you scrolling the phone? Can you get an extra 20 or 30 minutes? That stuff matters. Because if you're tired, you are not going to recover from your training. You're going to miss morning workouts. You're not going to lift as heavy. Your willpower is going to be low. Your energy is going to be low. If your energy is low, your body's going to crave energy. You're going to be reaching for more foods. You won't be able to stick to your diet. Sleep is so important. You got to get that to about 7 to 9 hours. And if you're a busy parent, you got young kids, I feel you, that may not be possible. Do your best. And scrolling on your phone at 12 o'clock at night is not doing your best. And that is how you set up a successful 12-week diet, something you actually stick to for the long run. The most important part is going to be your calories. That was a test. If you're nodding your head, you failed. It is the audit. We're going to take a little audit, see what you're coming from to make sure you don't go too aggressive. Because if you go too aggressive, you're going to be right back here in a few weeks starting over, and I don't want that for you. After the audit, then you move into how is your training plan going to work? What can you actually stick to? Where are your calories? Where are your macros? Where are your steps? And start getting that sleep because it really matters. Oh, but I always stall after 2 or 3 weeks. I always plateau. I really don't think I've ever had a client that's plateaued. I've had people drop off and they're tracking, something has fallen out of the plan. But if you happen to be the one person that plateaus, you've got levers to pull now. You didn't go too aggressive in your steps. You didn't go too aggressive in your calories. I'd choose one of those, not both. And I personally would start with steps because you're not going to take away my food. So if weight loss stalls, and I know I'm being extremely consistent in my tracking for 2 weeks, you guys stick to it for 2 weeks, then I'll pull a lever. I'm going to add 1,000 extra steps every single day. If that doesn't work, the next week, so now we're moving on to week 4 of things not moving, I'm going to then decrease my calories, not by much, about 150, maybe 200. See how that feels, see if it gets the scale rolling. Don't go too aggressive, don't skip the audit. If you want a full plan, it's gonna be down below to walk you through every single week, how to make adjustments, how to not plateau. I don't think you will. If you need somebody to actually show you how to do this week by week, check in with you like my clients have had, you need to work with me. I'm gonna put a little link down below if you wanna talk about coaching. We can definitely do that. Either way, I hope you stick around. We'll talk soon.